the recording now, and welcome to the webinar. We do this monthly, and I'm going to actually turn it over to Lindsay Walsh, who is in charge of our marketing and a lot of other things here at Tidestone. So,
hi everyone, welcome.
Hi.
Happy Thursday. This is our monthly Tidestone Solutions webinar, and I'll start with a little housekeeping. I'd like everyone to mute their phones so that any background noise in your office doesn't get in the way of the audio. And any questions you have, you can either send them through chat during the presentation, or once Matt Green from Professional Advantage gets started, he'll be giving you his email address so you can send him direct questions about the product as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. And again, we're Tidestone Solutions. We're a Dynamics GP partner with Microsoft, and we have been doing ERP solutions for over 20 years. Our focus is on business process and delivering productivity tools. We help our customers to streamline and build efficiencies so that their business process works in tandem with their accounting software. We focus on helping our existing customers. We're not a sales organization, we're a service organization, and we have long-term relationships with our customers. We're not just here to sell software. We like to enjoy a long relationship where we grow with our customers, and as they grow, we help them to continue tailoring their ERP system to their business processes. We are located in Portland, Maine. Most of our customers are throughout New England, but we do have customers around the country. We've got some in Dallas and Washington, and again, around New England is our focus. We are available to help with software selection, whether that's replacing an existing ERP solution or finding a third-party solution that will integrate for a specific business process you're trying to improve. We help with data conversion. We specialize in software implementations and project management. We help our customers focus on the automation of tasks and customizing their software to meet their needs and to build efficiencies within their accounting processes. And again, refining business process is a big part of what we do for our existing and new customers. And we're proud to be certified as a women's business enterprise by the National Women's Business Enterprise Association, WeBank. And again, we're in Portland, Maine, and we're really happy that you've all joined us for this. We do a monthly webinar, and this month we've brought in Professional Advantage. We have Matt Green joining us to show us about collections management. And many of you already own this and have not implemented it. Some of you have it and are using it and are looking for some tips. Some of you are curious about getting started with it. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Matt and have him talk about the product, and he'll do a demo. So Matt, we're going to make you the presenter now, and you can go ahead and show your screen and kick it off.
Thank you, Lindsay, and thanks, Alicia, and thanks to Tidestone for organizing this. My name is Matt Green from Professional Advantage, and I'll be showing you guys collections management for Dynamics GP today. Collections really helps you manage your overdue invoices and delinquent customers. And so I just have a few PowerPoints to go through, and then we'll jump into Great Plains and do a demo. And we'll get started. First of all, as Alicia and Lindsay pointed out, if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to submit those to the questions portal on the GoToWebinar or to my email address, and that is listed there. It's just mattg@profad.com, mattg@profad.com. And then if, given we have ample time at the end, we should be able to address some or most of those questions, and we'll certainly follow up with any unanswered questions via email as well. Just a little bit about our company to begin with. Professional Advantage, we were established in 1999. We do have operations here in North America, in Australia, and in Europe. We are a Microsoft Gold certified partner VAR like Tidestone, as well as an independent software vendor, so we develop solutions that sit on the Dynamics platform. We've had a great relationship with Tidestone over the years. A little bit of background on the product you'll be seeing today, collections management. This product was originally developed by Professional Advantage several years ago, and about 12 years ago Microsoft had purchased that from us through an OEM agreement and included that in some of their core versions of Dynamics GP. And after that 12-year relationship with Microsoft, they are now handing the solution back to us, which we are very excited about. So for those of you who currently use collections as it ships with Microsoft today, or are interested in using collections management here in the future, we will have a new release set for this weekend on Saturday, which is June 1st, which we're very excited about. Lots of new functionality which will be in that version. So for those of you who already have a license to collections, you'll be able to download that from our website and certainly work through Tidestone to get registration keys. And if you have any questions on that new release, or if you're licensed for it already, please contact them. We do offer a number of other cross-industry solutions built for Dynamics GP, and then a few solutions built, an integration tool for Dynamics GP and Dynamics RMS, as well as an analytics solution for Dynamics RMS as well. Professional Advantage has been a Microsoft President's Club member for the past 13 years, and Microsoft has purchased and does currently market several other Professional Advantage developed solutions and ships those in the core Dynamics GP solution today. So that's a little bit about us. Let's get into the product. Collections management. As I said before, collections really helps you manage your overdue invoices. So first, kind of to touch on the objective of the tool, first of all, it really takes the guesswork out of collecting on those overdue invoices. It's also going to make it easy to do that collections process at a high volume, but in as little time as possible. And hand in hand with that, collections management for GP is going to automate that collections process through these advanced workflow processes we call collections plans. So kind of an overview of some of the features in collections. There is the core feature, which is always been available in the product as it ships today, which are known as collections notes, and that's really the hub of collections management. You'll have an action assigned to those notes, which can be anything from a phone call that needs to be made, maybe it's an email or letter that needs to get sent. Another example of an action may be a promised payment. So you're on the phone with the customer, they make a promise to pay a specific amount or a specific invoice, in which case you would have an action to follow up a week later to make sure they follow through on that promise. Of course, the invoices associated with those actions, dates to follow up, and then tasks for your collectors or credit managers for those customers to then go ahead and carry out those actions, send the letters, make the phone calls, whatever that may be. Also a part of collections is your collection letters, and these are basically templates you can set up in Dynamics GP for sending, emailing invoices, sending these via fax or through the mail, and going along with emailing the invoices and their statements to your customers. And then lastly here, the plans, which are a bulk of the new functionality that's going to automate a lot of that collections process for you. So what's new? For those of you who are familiar with collections as it ships today, this is what's going to be included in the new release. And we'll touch on some of the core functionality as well as much of the new functionality that will be released here this weekend, today in the demo. But I just wanted to touch on quickly here what's going to be new. We're very excited to have it back. We can take a lot more product feedback, customer suggestions. So, you know, don't hesitate if you use collections today or are interested in sending us that product feedback. We're very happy that we can channel development for that product. I think we've put as much development in the past few months here as Microsoft's probably done in the past 12 months. So again, excited about that. So with the new features, you'll have some improved email capabilities. So if you are familiar with how Collections ships today, Collections really makes it easy to select a message template, select all or some of those customers with open invoices to attach those emails. I'll show you how that works. Like I said before, the bulk of the new functionality resides around the collection plans. So with this new release, you can choose from a list of predefined collection plans. You can also create a number of different collections plans for your different customer types. You can configure unlimited plan types. You'll have system-generated reminders with those plans, and then it will process steps one at a time, or you can group similar steps together for similar customers and send those out in bulk. Also, there'll be some new quick startup wizards. So there'll be some wizards for setting up your collection actions, your collection letters, of course those collection plans, and then some customer queries for targeting specific groups of customers. Also some advanced reporting. There will be a cash board, which is kind of a new take on a dashboard, and also some cash flow forecasts and other customer metrics. So you can have automatic reports sent out to users in your organization for sending them those aging reports, allowing your users to drill down, see the different aging buckets, which customers are overdue, and actually you can drill down to the invoice level and see those actual invoices from those reports. Another key part of the new functionality will allow you to generate invoices, or if you do generate invoices from other integrated systems other than Microsoft Dynamics GP, Collections Management is going to allow you to find those invoices from that other system and email those with the process. So as long as that other system can generate a PDF invoice and it can match it to the customer in GP, we can send it that way as well. If you're using accounts receivable in Dynamics GP today, this probably won't pertain to you. All right, so the setup for the tool, you're going to want to first lay out your collection plans, basically asking yourself, your organization, when we have this type of customer that have documents or invoices that are this old, which actions are we going to take? And so you'll lay out a list of steps in that plan based on the number of days that oldest payment is outstanding. Next, you're going to want to set up your letters, and you can use a lot of the mail merge fields. We'll go through some examples of letters we have set up for you. You'll lay out your actions, whether that be a phone call that needs to be made, an email, a letter through the mail, or via fax that needs to be sent, whether maybe you're disputing a specific invoice or customers have made promises to pay certain amounts through your follow-ups. You'll then build your plans, listing those out step by step. We'll go through some examples of plans, and then assigning those plans to your customers. The daily processing of collections management. So this is kind of how the functionality will be laid out for you. You'll have a task window that's really your to-do list for the day. And with these new plans, most of the tasks are going to be the things that can't happen automatically. For example, the phone call. So you can go into your task list in the morning, work through those actions, and complete those throughout the day. There'll be a query functionality for query we have set up and how to build those that have outstanding amounts 90 days or more overdue, but have haven't made a promise to pay any amount yet, we can target those customers and bulk process emails or messages to be sent to them. There is the collections main window for ad hoc and inquiry. Like I said before, kind of the core, the hub of collections management for some one-off printing and emailing. Of course, creating those collections notes and attaching those relevant invoices to those notes, and then the collections plan and processing window, which takes you through all those customers with actions that are due that have been assigned to your collections workflow plans. Okay, let's jump into Great Plains here, and we'll go through collections management. So the first area that we want to focus on is this collections management main window. Now this allows you to inquire and kind of get an overview of your customers and what's going on with their collection process. So if I select a customer from the lookup using their customer ID, I can see some of the master data on the left side of the window. In this case, the example is Aaron Fitz Electrical. I can select which address, which location I want to work with at that customer, who the contact is, in this case Bob Fitz, the phone number, the contact details for that location. Below that I can see when they've made their last payment, how much that payment was for, and then I can also see the year-to-date sales, so how much business we've been doing with this customer. As we work down, there'll be text to see any unposted sales. This may be important if they have a lot of outstanding payments. We can maybe put a stop on a shipment or hold on their service for any of these unposted things, so I can drill back and see that. Also, I can drill back and see any unposted cash, and this may be useful. So if you have a large amount of unposted cash that hasn't been applied yet, you may want to look at that before going in and running a collections phone call or process on this customer, so we can see that as well. Also, if there's a specific credit manager or manager assigned to this customer, those would appear there as well. On the right side of the window, it's going to allow us to see the aging periods for the customer, so what current amount they have owed to you, and then the different aging periods. We can always select a different period, hit display, and this would populate the specific invoices that are outstanding for that specific period. If I want to drill back and see all of their outstanding invoices, I can click this total amount due. It's also going to populate that total amount there as well. I'll drill back into this in just a few seconds. Just a few more items we can see on this window. We can see their credit limit, the salesperson assigned to this customer, territory ID. Those two are pretty self-explanatory. The parent ID, if you are using national accounts functionality within Dynamics GP, this would allow you to see their parent if they were a child and a part of a national account. Also, if you wanted to display this customer just as the single customer, that's what we have displayed here. But if you are using national account functionality, you can display it as that group national account, in which case it would repopulate these amounts and display it as the entire national account. Now at the bottom of the window, we're going to see our collection notes. So the notes that have been made that are associated with this customer. We can create a new note. So if we're on the phone with this customer, we want to take a note on any specific invoices they're referring to. We can click New from up here. I'm going to pull up an example of an existing note. So we can see how the notes functionality works. So it will be associated with the customer ID. Maybe we're on the phone with Aaron Fitz. The notes are all date and timestamp. So when we created this note, who was the caller? So going off the example that we're currently on the phone with Aaron Fitz Electrical talking to Bob Fitz, we can assign a priority to the note, and then on the right side here, assign an action. In this case, the action was a promised payment. So P for promise to pay. So Bob, it looks like we spoke with Bob and they promised to pay the 2 associated invoices by next week. So the action date we would assign would be a week from now. They promised to make a payment invoices. We can use this as expansion arrow, which is going to give us a list of all their outstanding invoices. And it looks like they've made the promise to pay. We've selected these 2 invoices. If they come back a day later and say, well, we can actually pay this invoice as well, we can select that one. It would add that to the note. So this just gives us a list of all the outstanding invoices and which ones we want to select that pertain to this note. Now the action amount will populate automatically once you select those invoices. But let's say, for example, we're speaking to Bob and he says, well, I can probably get you $2,000 by next week to apply to these invoices. We can change that action amount here, in which case it's not gonna apply the full amount to those invoices, but again, we'll probably take as much money from them as we can, being that they're in a collection process. We can change that action amount there to $2,000 if that were the case. If I wanted to assign this action to a different collector, a different user from your organization, we can assign it to somebody else, in which case once that payment goes past due, or whenever they need to follow up with this action, that would be assigned to a different collector other than myself. And the status, which we can set, obviously this one's still open, so we know they haven't made payment yet. Once they've applied that payment, it'll be marked as completed. If for some reason this action or note needed to be canceled, we could assign that as well, or if it was canceled by a plan. Now, some of the less known functionality of the notes here is we can actually see if there's been any revisions. So if a modification was made to the note, I can see what the original note looked like, which documents were associated with it, what it said in the text field, and I can see the different revisions, when they were made, who they were made by, with a revision history. At the bottom here, again, it's open text field here. I think there's 16 pages of notes you can keep here. And then once you select those documents, it will put those on the body of the note as well. So the document names and numbers, the amounts associated with those documents, and then the dates associated as well. So again, in this case, we spoke with Bob. They made a promise to pay us an amount for the 2 attached invoices. We can see that note is pretty clear from there. Just some other examples quickly of notes. Disputes, if you're currently disputing a couple invoices, we've made a note against that. The action is dispute. So this one looks like it has since been resolved, but they were disputing the bill rates of these 2 attached invoices. We can see that from that collections note. Okay, now drilling back into all of our invoices, there are some nice visual cues we can see. So this is going to bring up that list of all their outstanding invoices, so you can get a good look at what's going on with those. The icons on the left side here, the little I with the circle around it, lets you know that there has been a note made against these invoices. So there's some details, some information that's been set out there associated with all of these documents that have this I icon. Now a P lets you know, kind of as a visual cue, that there has been a promise to pay a certain amount against those invoices. I can see the total amount that's being promised to us at this current point in time down here at the bottom. A B would stand for a broken promise. So this means that the customer has made a promise to pay by a certain date. That date has since passed. That would turn into a broken promise. I can go in and then follow up on any of those broken promises from there. A D obviously stands for a dispute, so the total amount that's being disputed down here. Also, we can assign special circumstance. So, whatever that may be, you can see the total amount that's maybe under or categorized as a special circumstance. And then, of course, If we don't have any amounts associated with those specific actions, the remaining amount would be listed under none. So this gives you a nice overview of all those outstanding invoices that are owed by that customer and what's going on with those. Also from this window, we can access our task list. Now the task list is going to obviously assign to each specific collector, which is just myself in this case, the system administrator. I can pick the dates and which specific tasks are associated with those dates, go through and work on making these calls to my customers. Once I completed those, I can select that they have been completed. So this will mainly be your call list, because with the collections plan functionality, a lot of the emailing and sending out those letters, that functionality is going to happen automatically. So I can really come in here, focus on making these important collection calls in my task list. So I can show to see maybe just all my open tasks, or maybe all my tasks, the ones that have been completed, the ones that are still open. Maybe only show my payment promises only. We can work through those. I can see the one note that we did look at was this promise payment. There is a marked paid window. Now this window allows you to take out any of the promise payments off your task list if an amount on that invoice or invoices associated with that note have been fully applied, or they paid up to that amount promised. This would be opposed to opening up the customer, opening up every invoice and checking to see if that invoice amount had been fully applied. This way, you click this Mark Paid button, it's going to take off any of those promised payments off my task list for those that have made payments. There is queries we can run. So as I said before, there's query functionality, and this is really for targeting specific customer groups. Now, the one I have developed here targets customers with amounts outstanding over 90 days, yet haven't made a promise to pay. And so there's different restrictions we can put on these queries, from the customer in general, customer info, who the credit manager is, dates, lists, credit control cycle. Also balances, so we can sort from balances due or just see customers with balances greater than their credit limit. Different periods, so the different aging periods, document dates, due dates, when's the last time we've sent them a letter or had contact with the customer. So a lot of different criteria here we can develop logic for those queries. Now, once we have the logic or restrictions that for the customers we want to target, we'd go ahead and run this query. So yes, I know this query exists already. It will search all of my customer records and filter which ones meet the criteria. Now, luckily it's telling me there's only one customer that meets the criteria, so there's only one customer that has an outstanding amount 90 days past due. I'll hit OK. It's going to pull up that customer, and now notice up here in the view, it's switched. Instead of showing all my customers, it's going to show that query I just ran. And if I go into my customer list, it would just display those customers that pertain to this specific query. So I can sort by the total amounts due, maybe start with the customer that owes you the most, work through this list that way with the query. Now there is an email window from the collections main window. So again, if I'm talking to Bob Fitz from Aaron Fitz Electrical on the phone, and Bob requests some invoices to be sent to him, so he knows what invoices are outstanding, we can send them this email. So I can pick who the email comes from, who it's going to, and with these letter IDs, I can choose from a letter template that I already have set up. Let's just pick this email selected invoices template. It's automatically going to put the text in that email. I can, I can certainly adjust what I want to say here, so I know I'm sending this to Bob. I'm going to put in his email put his name into this email, and then select the specific invoices that we were talking about that needs to be sent to Bob. Now, from their invoice list below, we'll select the specific invoices that will be sent in this email. I can hit refresh. As you can see here, in the body of the email, it's going to list those invoice or those document numbers, the dates, and then the amounts associated with those documents. One thing to note is that with the email functionality, it's also going to attach these documents as a PDF version in this email as well. So once I have everything set to go, click send, and it would automatically go to Bob. So this is a nice way for kind of shooting some one-off emails. Okay, let's go in and view some of the collection plans. I'm going to close some of these windows. The first area I want to show you guys is the collection plan setup window. Now again, you can set up and configure an unlimited amount of collection plans, and these are really the workflow processes you'll assign to your customers. So I just have a standard example here to show you. Select the plan ID, give a brief description, so this is a pretty standard plan. You can specify what you want the plan to do once a customer has reached the last step. So whether you want it to keep repeating the last step, so for the lifetime of that outstanding amount, they keep getting a collections email, or you can have it stop suggesting next steps. Also, you could specify a minimum amount, and this really gives you the ability to, what amount do you want to start sending them through this collection plan. So if you, for example, have a customer that you do $1 million of business with every year, but for some reason they had an outstanding amount for $50, we're not going to send them through this collection process for cases like that. So that's really the logic behind this minimum amount due. So that can be set. Also, you can allow steps to be skipped in the plan, and then, of course, your steps that you'll set up. So in this example, this is all based on the oldest amount due to you guys. Now, 3 days before that oldest amount is due, it's going to send them out a reminder. And let's take a look at what that reminder looks like. The reminder is just set up as an action. And in this case, it's a reminder they have invoices due soon. And the reminder is associated with this letter. So this is what will be sent in that process. It's just a nice letter that says you have invoices that will be due soon. Here's a list of outstanding items. We've attached them to this email for your convenience. So all of the outstanding invoices would be listed out in the body. They'd also be attached to that email in PDF format. So when you set up these different letters, you can use some mail merge functionality. So if I wanted to choose to include some customer info, maybe their contact name, insert that into the body of the email, you can certainly do that. Also, specifying which specific invoices we want to attach, we can choose from a number of different criteria. If we want to just attach all of their invoices, maybe all of just the overdue invoices, or invoices that maybe they've made promise payments for. So several different criteria when you're setting up these letters. We can list that out. And at the bottom here, instead of saying from your organization, maybe we want to have it a little more personal. We can insert whoever the collector is, or the credit manager associated with that account. We can say it's from them. So this is the email that would be sent. I'm going to discard these changes I made associated with that action, and that those actions are associated with these steps. So going back to the process here, 3 days before that amount is due, send them out that friendly reminder. Once they go past due, we'll have an email sent to them automatically. It's a different letter set up 14 days, set up a call, so that call would be a task assigned to your collectors, and those would be sent to that task list. 20 days overdue, send them another email. 22 days, call them again. 27 days, send another email, all the way down to what do we want to do with this customer at the end if they're not paying, whether that's terminate their service or put a hold on their account so they don't they can't place any new orders or getting anything else shipped out to them. And then eventually we'd send them through a specific collections process or to your legal department to go through and follow up that way. There will be grace periods associated with each of these actions. This really ensures that, let's say, for example, this email hasn't been sent out yet, and your collectors were on vacation, so the customer has since gone 13 days past due. We finally get back in, we get this email sent out. It will kick in that 5-day grace period before we can touch them again. So it really lets you specify that grace period so they're not getting actions one right after the other. So those are all configurable as well. Now another example of a collection plan I have here, just a phone plan, simple phone plan. If you want to assign this maybe to your larger customers who you don't want getting those automatic emails, you just want your collectors going in and making calls to these customers. Just another example of a collection plan. Once we have our plan set up and assigned to our customers, we're going to use this collection plan activity window. Now this is going to display, again, all of the suggested actions. I apologize. Window's taking a few seconds to load here. The collection plan activity window will allow you to see all of your customers with actions that are due. And so we can go through and evaluate actions one by one, evaluate customers, see what's going to be sent to them, if we're okay, with a reminder going out to them, a collection email or a phone call being made. We can process the customers one at a time. Or we can bulk process the customers, in which case there'll be an option to process all your customers with actions that are due. And before it processes all those, it's going to give you some dialogue letting you know that customers that are associated with your standard plan, you have 71 reminder emails set to go out. There is 13 emails of a different type to be sent. There will also be 14 emails of this letter and 7 calls. You hit OK. All of those emails will be processed automatically, and then you can really go back and work on making those phone calls throughout the day. So I apologize here. I must have a bad connection, but that's really the functionality around that processing window for your collection plan activity. There's different sorting and configuration. So if you want to just look at customers that are set to get a reminder, those are pretty safe. We can process all those at one time. But if there's any special cases with a customer, maybe when we want to evaluate those on a customer-by-customer basis. So that plan activity window really allows you to do that. Having said that, and I apologize again for that page not loading, but let's leave this, let's give you the opportunity to ask any questions that may have come up, and I'll turn it back over to Lindsay and Alicia for organizing that.
Thanks, Matt. And don't you just love having technical difficulties when you're in the process of a demo? It happens to all of us. So if there are any attendees who have any questions, this is your time to ask those, either by sending a chat or by just unmuting your phone and asking the question. We do have a little bit of time.
Yeah, Alicia, too. I didn't see if any questions were submitted on the go-to meeting, but if there are any of those, feel free to read them out loud, and I can certainly do my best in answering them.
I don't see any at this point. You were very thorough, so
Okay.
maybe there aren't any questions. But again, if any attendees have any questions, now is the opportunity. We'll wait a few more seconds to see if anyone speaks up.
Perfect. In the meantime, there is, I think I had said this before, but for the new release that's due out on Saturday, that will be supported on GP 2013 and GP 2010. Just an FYI.
Good to know. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we're getting any questions, so, oh. It doesn't appear that we're getting any questions, so I think we'll let you go, Matt. As you can all see, his email is there if you wanted to email him directly, or you can contact Lindsay or myself with any questions. It looks like we did just get one in from Denise, and it says, is this an automatic upgrade?
Yes, good question. It's not an automatic upgrade. You will need to please work through Tidestone, and there'll be basically a chunk file. So it's a very simple upgrade, but you will need to install that chunk file into Dynamics to use the new functionality. And then a new registration key would be required. It's probably a matter of 10 minutes of getting that set up, but no, it's not automatic. Please, work through Tidestone to, and they'll get you the appropriate code and registration key.
Yes, and I believe you all have our phone number and our email for support at tidestonesolutions.com, so you can send in any requests for that directly to us. Any other questions?
One more thing that on our website, and that's listed there, profad.com, there are a number of videos, and I know I didn't get a chance to go through some of the new reporting capabilities, but there are some great resources and videos out on our website. So anybody who's interested in that, feel free to check those out.
All right, great. Well, I think without any other questions, we will let you go, Nat. Thank you so much for the demo. We appreciate your help this month in our monthly webinar series. And for all of the attendees, we will send you, if you're interested, we can direct you to our website for the recorded webinar, and that's tidestonesolutions.com. So you can check it out there. We'll have it up there probably later today or first thing tomorrow if you want to check that out. So thanks for attending. We have just a couple of follow-up items that I'll hand it back over to Lindsay.
So we do have, again, a monthly webinar that you are always invited to. Next month we'll be looking at smart lists and showing some tips and tricks. And then we have a kind of a quiet summer planned here in Maine. So the next things that are going on are all in the fall. We have our local Dynamics GP user group meeting, and there's some conferences and whatnot coming up. We have all of our events that we're involved in and that our software vendors are putting on, listed on our website, and the link is right there, tidestonesolutions.com/category/events. And of course, you can reach us anytime. You can go to our website and click on Contact Us, or send an inquiry to info@tidestonesolutions.com. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you at some of the future events. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. I guess we'll just end the